Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Wannabes podcast. I'm Morgan, and that's Dreaded.
Sup?
So, sadly, no Luke tonight. He is not feeling well. He's under the weather, so we're sending him our well wishes so he gets better soon.
His immune system is weak.
Weak, I say. No, but yeah, hopefully he gets better here soon, and be good for more reviews next week. But tonight, we're diving into Moana 2. Now, Dreaded and I love the first Moana. Like, I think I love it more than you.
We'll have to discuss that.
Okay, because I love the fuck out of Moana, Moana, the first one.
I mean, so do I.
I probably rewatched it more than you. I would bet my life on that one. I'm not even kidding. Genuinely?
I was watching the shit out of that movie.
Genuinely? I would bet my life on it.
Well then.
All right, everybody, real quick in chat, please let us know if for whatever reason our audio sounds off from one another and anybody needs adjustments. Your assistance is greatly appreciated because you're able to hear it and we are not. So, but for now, without further ado, anything else, Dreaded, before we dive into our news of the night?
Not much. I'm looking forward to one of our future reviews, although I'm really not looking forward to one of those future reviews as well.
I'm so looking forward to the one you're not looking forward to.
Of course you are.
And I'm not. It's not that I'm like so everyone knows we're talking about Mufasa, and I'm not necessarily looking forward to the movie. I'm looking forward to our discussion.
That's fair. That is fair.
All right, everybody, real quick, let's go ahead and switch on over to our news segment. Alrighty, so first things first. First bit of news I have for us, and I think this is really cool. So we're both Pokemon fans. We like the Mons, you know? Yeah? No? You don't like Pokemon?
I wouldn't say I don't, but I was never that into it. I like the original show, I'll give it that. But anything beyond that, I never really got into. So
okay. No, and that's fair. That's fair. It's definitely a franchise you got to be willing to like go full force into. So
plus I'm not gonna lie, if you're out of anything that was like that, I most likely would have been more of a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, which I do plan to actually like kind of watch Yu-Gi-Oh.
I did watch the OG Yu-Gi-Oh show, but to get into what the news bit is about Pokemon, everybody, it is official. After it was discontinued in March, Pokemon TV is returning, but not as what everybody's expecting, not as a TV channel. It's actually returning as a YouTube channel and with content from the anime series, which actually will include the full episodes. This was announced yesterday, so that's December 3rd that it was announced, and it will go live officially this Friday, December 6th.
That is actually really cool as hell, though.
Yeah,
I wish a lot more franchises would actually utilize that too.
I agree. Luckily it's a YouTube channel. It's not going to be like, oh, we're on YouTube TV. You know, it's not stuck behind that paywall. And it just is as content creators, you know, it's for them as the creators, though it was canceled. It's nice that they're still able to get that content out there, especially because, I mean, being able to just pull up YouTube, like if my nieces and nephew were over and I needed something to entertain them really easy and I could just pull up the full episodes of Pokemon on my TV while I like cook us dinner, that's an easy win. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So
there are a lot of, you know, funny enough, there's not a dedicated channel for some things, but I do find a lot of channels that do be airing this many episodes of this show.
Well,
like
yeah.
Hour-long Family Guy things, stuff like that, or Boondocks, or old stuff. But I'm glad to see that's actually, I would like that to be something utilized more, especially for maybe something a little more older.
Yeah, I think this is really nice. Especially, like, I'm curious to see how much of the Pokemon TV franchises up there, because there's different, like, you have the OG, There's one of my favorites, Sun and Moon. Like there's Journeys. There's the one that's, coming out, that the current one. I feel like the current one won't be on the YouTube channel. But there's a lot of like side like that still follow Ash. That, were their own mini series. So I am curious if we're gonna get all of that released or if this is just the Pokemon OG, because I currently don't have that information.
Gotcha. But either way, it's still all cool though.
Yeah, yeah. It's fun little news. Speaking for fun, maybe not so fun. So we all know Wicked just came out. We know that there's a bunch of merch out there for Wicked. Mattel specifically is a company who did like some Wicked dolls, some merchandise of the dolls, and there's actually on the back of the packaging there was a misprint. There was a website. They didn't like go and check the website to make sure it was available, stuff like that. I don't know the full ins and outs of like how this got on there, but the URL that was meant to be for the Wicked movie that ended up being linked, that was put on the back of these boxes, actually ended up linking to a porn site.
Yeah.
And
a not bad one too.
Let that be known, I guess. But yeah, Mattel is actually officially being sued for it by a mother who said her child accessed the porn site due to the link being printed on the back of the packaging of the Wicked dolls. So yeah, it is official. Like, they were very aware of this mess up. They've sent out massive apologies, and there is at least one mother, and probably many more that I might end up joining her side, that is officially suing the company that released these Wicked dolls with that URL in the packaging.
First of all, who let those kids get on the internet?
I mean, I think about it, if I was really big into Wicked and everything in middle school, I still might have gotten a doll. Like a doll, especially a doll like this. Like, my parents did get me like collectible dolls when I was in middle school, and I had access to the internet come like 5th grade.
Well,
I was playing I was playing Club Penguin, guys.
That's fair.
And then I saved up and bought my own laptop in 6th grade, and then got onto RuneScape, and I've digressed since then. So,
well, in some defense, when I for research purposes checked out that website, only to realize, oh, I know exactly what this is, because there's a pretty good video of a female doctor video that I have no idea.
Stop it.
I will admit that the front page wasn't. I mean, it was explicit, but not that explicit to the point. Not like how the hub is. So that only means one thing: that those people who looked at that website had to have kept looking, saying, "This must be Wicked." I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Oh gosh.
Some damn water.
Well, to move away from that,
Either way, that is hilarious.
It is, honestly, as bad as it is actually kind of hilarious.
Do you remember, it was some time ago where we were talking about the what the hell is that anime called? Cowboy Bebop live action.
Yeah.
And there was a character, I think her name was Faye, where it was discussed that she was toned down because in the anime she dressed very skimpy. And when I was actually looking like, oh, hang on, just so I see what you're talking about joining the conversation. I looked that up. Turns out that's actually a porn star.
Is it really?
Oh yeah! Wait, there's a clip of that somewhere actually in the Twitch channel.
I wasn't part of that review, so that's
no, not the review. We were talking about news. I remember you were there too.
Oh! Right. I remember. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, that was fun. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh,
so
man,
that honestly reminds me of that.
That's awesome.
But either way, next time companies double check your websites, and Wicked, hey, y'all be all right.
So, another bit of news, everybody, for anybody who is out there that is, hey Luke, I hope you're feeling better. For anybody who is a fan of Jenna Ortega's Wednesday, The series has officially wrapped filming season 2, which is set to premiere sometime in 2025. But the biggest thing about that is Netflix has revealed a new photo showing Jenna Ortega reprising her role, and yeah, that so you have a new photo to go check out and a new season to look forward to because it's currently in post production. So
Mm,
yeah, I'm
Maybe,
excited.
maybe, maybe we'll get another dance sequence. Maybe that'll blow up the internet again.
I mean, of course, but I think
I,
you still haven't seen Wednesday, right?
I've purposely stopped watching because I wasn't into it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
How many episodes did I actually get into this though?
I really liked it.
I remember that. I do remember you liking it a lot. I want to say I got maybe 5 to 6 episodes in, and then I was just okay. I'm done.
Mm,
I want to say 5. It had to be at
you were so
5.
close to like being done.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I just like okay. I'm done here.
Um, but I think our most interesting news tonight to discuss is yesterday Disney released a new movie trailer, and this was for the movie trailer. This is for the
Brown sugar. I mean, oh, sorry. Snow White.
yeah,
Yeah.
the movie trailer for Snow White, and I have so many thoughts, none of which are good. Like,
Nope. All right. Let me be real with you right now. I know y'all finna drag me to watch Mufasa, but please, for the love of God, don't drag me to watch Snow White because I don't even like the original Snow White that much either.
so, like, we have Rachel. It's either Ziegler or Zegler. I believe it's Ziegler. She is the leading actress. She is playing Snow White. She's most recently known for her role in The Hunger Games: The Ballad of the Songbird and Snakes, and she's a great actress, phenomenal. But
But
she to me is not Snow White. Like the bob, the Snow White bob does not work with her facial structure. Like it's just make the bob longer. Actually, I think would be better. But the dwarves look
what the fuck?
awful. You even were like when you were watching it right before we went live, you were like, "What's wrong with the animals?" Like the CG work in Snow White is really rough, especially from coming from such from such a well backed money backed studio as Disney. Like
Yeah. Um. Those animals. I guess I'm not gonna go. I mean, the animals didn't look as real, but I'm just like, huh, interesting. Y'all made, Lion King movies and Jungle Book movies, and they look damn near photorealistic. But then just
right.
like, what the hell happened here? But then
Yeah.
those dwarves showed up. Like, what the fuck happened to your face?
So
Do you know
like
what the dwarves? Hold on. Do you know what the dwarves look like to me?
what?
Because you were watching Attack on Titan, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Did I hope you remember this. Do you remember a specific pure Titan that was tiny but had like a big ass head and some big ass eyes?
I'm gonna see if I can Google it.
Try this. It was the first episode of season 2. That Titan made that
Okay.
appearance there.
So season 2 Attack on
If you see that photo, you're gonna understand exactly what
Titan.
I'm saying. Oh goodness gracious! I hope you find it. I hope you find it.
Oh
I would rather watch
god.
Snow White over Mufasa. Oh my goodness, Luke! I'd rather
Dude,
watch either of those.
are you talking about this one?
Yep, that's the one.
That's awful. But
I know.
I kind of see what you mean.
Feels like Disney was all
Ew.
game for this remake until they started actually making it. And then they went, "Oh crap!"
Yeah,
That's
I
hilarious.
don't disagree. The like the thing is too with Snow White, if you think about like except for like Snow White and her interaction with the dwarves, though there is some obviously with the prince, there isn't a lot of dialogue. There is some from the evil queen, like the but like the initial because it was back in like when was the I think it was what the 30s was when the first
Hmm.
Snow White was made.
somewhere around that time,
Yeah,
30s
it
to
was
40s.
37. So it was
Oh, okay.
1937, and we're coming off of like the era of silent films, and it was a lot more atmospheric than it was dialogue. So I feel like they're kind of grasping at straws in a way to try to fill in and make a story with a lot more dialogue for Snow White, which we've seen happen. We've seen like Snow White and the Huntsman and stuff like that. Like, but like, there's this whole thing of like they're probably trying to avoid doing what like other people have done with the Grimm like fairy tale and everything, and
Mm.
like not reach what they've done, but also trying to build up the original because there's not a lot to it, and it's almost like a kind of just like y'all, you stop, you shouldn't, please don't. Hello,
What cat?
Carrie.
Who?
That's Michael's sister.
Oh, hello there.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
Um.
I'm gonna be real. You also made me thinking about. I remember the time where all those like fairy tale movies are coming, but they were like gritty and dark and stuff, like Snow
Mm-hmm.
White the Huntsman and Red Riding Hood and all that. Like,
Yeah.
damn, that was a time period where movies like that was coming out.
Yeah, and I like those. I like the play on fairy tales and everything. And I think they're Disney's trying to do that without doing that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
man.
just because
Yeah, like
Snow White doesn't have a lot.
yeah.
Except for like her stuff with the dwarves and a little bit with the queen and a very small bit with the prince, there's really not a lot of story or dialogue. So,
Uh, just why with this movie? Just why? And back to those dwarves. What the hell is wrong with those dwarves? Again, like I said before that we went live, why the hell didn't they watch the Hobbit movies and say that? Let's do that.
so my only assumption is because I mean, they have cast in this film. We have like people like Martin, I believe it's Kleba. He is a well-known actor who happens to be a dwarf, and because we've seen him like I believe he's in the Pirate of the Caribbean films. Um, but I think it's just they wanted that like fairy tale like girthier dwarf, and they're like, okay, well, to get that, we're just gonna edit it. Though I feel like that wasn't necessary. You could have really, really gone into the amazing dwarf acting realm and found amazing actors. But though they do have at least one that I see looking at the cast. There might be more. Um, but that's the one that I know for a fact is in here. In my opinion, they just could have done so much more with a real cast rather than the CG work they're doing.
Yeah, well, God damn it, Disney.
It looks rough. It
It
honestly
looks so
it
rough.
honestly looks like one of those fan made like trailers that isn't a real trailer.
Oh my god, that is so disrespectful, and I love it. That is so bad. And you're not wrong. Some of that dialogue was horrible too.
It was
The,
rough.
the queen is evil. Run to the forest. Come on, black man. Why'd
I
you come
do want to
here?
say Gal Gadot is playing the evil queen, but it,
What?
it yeah, you didn't realize that's her?
Oh god!
You
Oh
didn't
god!
realize that?
No, I didn't realize it. Oh my god! She's like got all this stuff. I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah, yeah, but sadly, she plays the same type of character, and she's. I don't think she's gonna be evil enough for the queen. Even her delivery to like when she asks the mirror who's the fairest of them all.
I just don't think anything in this movie is just gonna be that redeeming.
No,
I
I'm
feel like this is gonna be just like Little Mermaid. It came and it went, and I feel like barely anyone talked about it.
and you know what though? I think it's gonna be. Do you remember Into the Woods with Chris Pine and Anne Kendricks?
Oh yeah, I remember that movie.
Hate that movie. I despise it. The actual musical is so much better. I think the movie sucks, and I get all the bad vibes I got from Into the Woods. I'm getting from this trailer for Snow White.
Gotcha.
and
The one thing
I'm
I
not
remember from
here
that,
for
the one thing I would definitely remember from that movie was just the silhouette of the big bad wolf howling, and that's like the one image that like stuck with me.
It's fair. It's fair.
But again, you know me, I don't like musicals, so of course I wasn't watching that damn movie.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on Snow White before I spiral forever on this awful trailer.
Yeah, I really just want to skip that one. Look, y'all got me watching one bad Disney live action movie. Don't make me watch another.
What do you mean? But the one isn't live action. It's still all CG work.
Move on. Just move on. God damn it! You gotta be that person.
Alrighty, everybody.
Realistic CG live action, quote unquote.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty, everybody. Let's go ahead and switch on over to our movie. Oh man. So, everyone, as you already can have seen in our title, we are here to review Moana 2. We are both big fans of the original, of the first one. There are things, big things that happen in Moana 2 that I have been theorizing and talking about since Moana 1 that I am actually extremely excited and happy about. But before we dive into that, we have a hydrate from Ramp. Thank you, Ramp. Dreaded, where do you want to start with this?
Well, first let's start what we always start with, box office.
Oh, duh. I even have it pulled up. I'm just so excited to talk about it, obviously.
All right, well, let's get through the box office first, then we'll get into this movie.
All right, so everybody, this film is 100 minutes. It runs about an hour 40-ish. The budget for the film was 150 million. So to get into actual box office and how it did in the theaters, in the United States and Canada, Moana was originally projected to gross 105 to 115 million over the 5-day Thanksgiving weekend. After making 57.8 million on its first day, including 13.8 million from Tuesday night previews, because this was actually a Wednesday night release. We don't get many of those here. This is both the highest ever for a Walt Disney animation film and Thanksgiving week release, by the way. The 5-day estimates were raised to 175 to 200 million. It then made a record 28 million on Thanksgiving Day, nearly doubling the 2019 film Frozen 2, which previous high was actually 14.9 million. It went on to debut to 139.8 million, and that's actually breaking Frozen 2's 130.3 million record for the best opening weekend for a Walt Disney animation film and a Thanksgiving weekend release, as well as nearly matching the entire domestic run for the first film, which was 248.7 million. The worldwide 5-day gross of 389 million surpassed the 2023 film The Super Mario Bros. Movie, which had the highest opening for an animated film at the time. So, as of Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024, Moana has grossed 239.3 million in the United States and Canada, and an additional 184 million in other territories, making so far a worldwide total of 423.4 million US dollars.
All righty then. You go, Moana. I'm actually, it's sad nowadays when I get happy to see that a budget isn't going too high.
Yeah, honestly, that budget I felt like was pretty good for it, especially such a robust animated film from Disney. That doesn't seem insane and crazy.
Exactly. Which a lot of other films keep trying to be insane to make bigger revenue, and it's just not working.
Right.
So it's nice to see something that's good. I like that. All right. Where should we start with this movie, I suppose?
I want to talk about, can we talk about the character design? Because she is aged from the first one.
This is
And
something you and Luke went deep into during the trailers.
yeah, I really, really like how they've aged her. She is the Wayfinder. She is she takes on a new title that hasn't been around for like 1,000 years, which the last Wayfinder, which we see in some of Dreadit's favorite musical numbers from the first one. I'm blanking on his name off the top of my head, but she takes on the title that the Wayfind like her ancestor Wayfinder we see in the first film, which was a chieftain, I believe, as well at one point. Um,
Mhm.
she takes on the title he has, and so she's been out wayfinding and looking for other civilization. Other people have to be on the ocean, so she's trying to find them. That's how the movie starts, and she finds a piece of pottery that shows, you know,
There's evidence of others.
there's evidence of others, and it has like an island and constellations on it, which is her clue to maybe they're there. But during that whole sequence we see her climbing up like crazy like mountainsides of these islands and everything, and she's genuinely like actually and bulked up in her arms and everything, like compared to the first film she's built muscle, and I appreciate that they have actually made sure to show that detail, not even just like from what she's doing, but her just standing there and you look at the form that they have designed for her. She is bulked up because as a wayfinder and pulling sails and the oar and everything else, she would be more bulky than when she
I'm actually,
started previously. And I really like that they took the time to do that.
I'm finally happy to see there's somebody who can team up with Mulan and beat some ass.
Yes. I love Moana so much.
Not to mention too, even her parents look like have aged.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a little detail. Like, hey, not only Moana, the parents did too. Okay, good detail there.
I mean, we see like the creepy kid who did the weird dance in the first one. They do have they end up we see the dance again, but
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
unexpected dance off, you know. It is so we see that character has aged. You like we get to see one of the characters who joins her that was one of the fishermen and was like the one who did the big face when like her father was blowing up on her in the first one about going past the reef and looking for fish, you know. He gets a much larger role in this film and kind of also takes up the kind of like the spiritual like history person that her grandmother was, which is really
Mhm.
sweet to see. And but you can also see that he's gone through some more aging than what we see him in the first film. So that is some attention to detail that I really appreciate the animators have done.
Oh, you made me remember that damn kid. I forgot all about that damn kid. It came back. I'm glad that there's a few good callbacks to the first movie in this as well too, and I like it as well.
I'm happy you bring that up because I agree. However, I think there's sometimes too many callbacks that for the sake, especially when we get later into the film, for the sake of humor.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There is a lot of like I know that this is a film made for children, but one of the downsides to it is how many like fan servicey cheesy jokes there were.
Hmm.
Because there is like just like the first one, there is a lot of serious moments. And I sometimes feel like it's a little more disjointed at times because they're really trying to amp up that humor.
Yeah, we'll get well. I want to. There's something I want to get more into a little later,
Sure.
but let's start with the stuff we like with this film actually first. And for one, God, this movie is gorgeous.
It's so pretty. It is just so beautifully animated.
Exactly. Ocean still looks great. My actual favorite effect in anything is the face in the storm.
Yeah, that one looks really good. That looks
Yeah,
good a
and
lot.
y'all know me. I like my kind of otherworldly, creepy like stuff. So yeah, that
Mhm.
was gonna get me definitely.
I really
Uh,
like the movement we see with a new kind of like maybe demigod sort of
mhm.
being that we meet. What is her name?
Oh, Batwoman.
Yeah, the Bat Lady.
Yeah, that's what I just call. I
Um,
never bothered to remember it. I just called her Bat Lady, Batman. I'm just gonna stick with Batman.
oh, where is it? It's gonna drive me insane that I can't remember who it is now.
Her name was. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Oh, hell.
Matangi, I believe.
Yes, Matangi.
Yeah. I liked how they animated her and like how her movements were. I thought that was really fun and really cool. Um, I just want to say immediately, guys, just to start stuff off, there Dreaded has a spirit animal in this film. Right off the rip, we get it like after she's like getting back to the village, there's a whole musical number for the whole village. And there is an old man farmer who's just like, I'm done with this. He ends up becoming part of the crew. Um, but just kind of like, do we always have to be singing? And I literally leaned in. I'm like, it's Dreaded. It's Dreaded.
Yeah, funny you say that because I saw this with my girlfriend, and she literally, as you said that, she's like, "That's so you. That is so you." I'm like, "Yep." And as the movie kept going on, I was like, "I like this old man. This is Grandpa Dreaded."
As the movie kept going, I was like, "This is Dreaded's favorite character. I already know
This
it."
is my future self. This is literally my future self. And I'm gonna be real too. As much as a compliment that is, that's also gonna be a criticism later. But we'll get to that.
That's fair. That's fair.
The new characters are okay. One of the new characters kind of annoyed me, but it was like, okay, stop fixing everything or fixing everything.
Oh, the like
Yeah,
the carpenter, the like the one who was making all the canoes.
yeah. She's the only one who irritated me just for that reason. But at the end of the movie, I didn't hate her.
No, I liked her a lot more at the end, but
Yes.
I think honestly these they do a really good job at us kind of being annoyed with these characters because we've seen Moana, even though Moana struggled and wasn't like a wayfinder, she
Mm.
she figured it out really well, and she had a sense of duty. I think that helped kind of help her focus. Where these are kind of like super excited about stuff or really not excited to be there. Um,
Oh, man.
and you know, I think like it almost made it like, man, did we really need them? And in the beginning, I was like, did we really need them? You know what I mean? I'm like, do they have to be here? Because they're kind of pissing me off.
Mm-hmm.
They're useless.
But by the end of the movie, I feel they definitely pulled their weight.
Agreed. I do like them, and that shows good character evolution for them. Like the fact that I like them better at the end than I do in the beginning. They have evolved as characters. That is good.
That is very good.
There is also big evolution for not only Maui but also for Moana. However, it is lacking the evolution and development that they had in compare if I had to compare it to the first one. They evolved even better. But I said this to Dan, like after this film, like I have to remind myself, like we are already watching a film where they have gone through major developments already. So we are starting not movie number 2 with already pretty seasoned and already gone through a major story arc for themselves characters, aside from this new cast of crewmates, if you will. So there's a couple moments where I wish there was more development for Moana especially. I feel like I feel like currently that it's not her time to evolve, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, there's a third movie coming.
Oh yeah, and I am looking forward to that. And hopefully they do what I feel this movie should have done after actually watching it. Maui is still entertaining as ever. Well, Maui's still entertaining.
Mm-hmm. I liked Maui.
And I do like the story that's being told, actually, too, the idea of what the story is. To certain degrees. And, oh, for God's sake, I'm trying to hold out as much as I can, but every time I bring something up, I'm thinking about something, okay, but then there's the issue, the glaring problems for me. Should we just get into it?
Let's get into it.
Okay, so it's no question we love Moana 1. I love that movie. I like the journey Moana goes on. Maui is so entertaining, and I love that dude. It's beautiful and everything like that. So when they announced Moana 2, okay, I'm down because I like the first one so much. And for what it's worth, what they're trying to tell in the story is good. Mm-hmm. Except a few glaring issues. Let's start with probably my biggest problem with the movie, the pacing.
Yeah.
This movie's pacing was so glaringly fast. I don't want to say couldn't. How do I word this?
I feel like they wanted. Go ahead. No. I want you to have your thought.
Moments that I feel should have hit harder or lingered, don't. because the
Facts.
movie is trying to keep going. And Raven keep bringing up that it is, I guess, a kids movie and stuff like that, and kids have low attention spans. Sure, but the first one paced itself very well.
Honestly, I think the pacing of the first film is actually immaculate. I think the pacing is amazing for the first one. This one paces, as you were saying, too fast. And I think
Yeah.
that's because they didn't want to get stuck and lost in the redundancy of how do I want to I feel like they didn't want to get stuck in the redundancy of the crew. But I felt like there should have been, and I almost wanted there to be more hardships for the crew to overcome together prior to crashing and having to deal with the massive eating clam thing that Matangi is actually like exiled in. That it basically is like a whole nother world, guys. Like it has its own ecosystem. It's like you think about like how Pinocchio gets swallowed by the big whale and like you can live inside it. That sort of scenario.
Yeah. Instead, we kind of get just like I want to say very cartoonish, hard, quote unquote, hardships. And it's just based off their character traits, I would suppose.
Right. I
Also, one thing
think.
I didn't.
Go ahead.
One thing I forgot to bring up that I liked was how big of a fanboy homeboy was of Maui. That was funny.
See, it was funny. I did enjoy it, but there were moments when I was like, bro, you need, and even like obviously Maui's like, it's kind of freaking me out. Like there's moments where I'm like, bro, you need to chill. Like
Yeah,
please,
I just found it
please
funny.
chill. But that isn't anything that I'm gonna get nitpicky about. You know, it was part of the humor for the film. But I think overall, for me,
Hydrate.
the issue that I have with the pacing mostly is that we don't get those moments to really connect. Like I'm already connected with Moana and Maui because of the first film, but we don't get moments to really connect with this new cast. I really wanted to have like a crazy twist happening with Matangi because she ends up helping them because she wants to get out. Helping her and Moana and Maui might help her get away from the man who has this island hidden for his own power and his own greed, which is what is his name? Nalo.
No.
Um, you know, I almost wanted her to be like actually one of his minions, and then there's a twist like her letting go would be like basically getting her lost where Maui couldn't help her. And like have where Maui, that's what I was expecting as well, and I was expecting Maui kind of having to like deal with these misfits and help shape them up a little bit more, but she ended up just helping them. And I wanted more of like that twist and that turn.
I guess maybe they want to save something more for maybe if they make a third film, but just I was expecting that and that didn't happen.
And
truth be told,
with the cutscene that we get in the credits, and for anybody who hasn't seen it, there is a credit. There is a mid credit, so if you go and see it and you want to stay through for that, great. You do see Matangi again speaking with Nalo, and Nalo might want to use Matangi's familiarity to his advantage. You know, the familiarity she has with Moana now. Like we could get more of those twists and that betrayal in the third film. But currently,
just a helpful person, I guess, then just disappears.
Cool, great. Yeah, absolutely gone. Like it was building up like she was going to be part of the big bad, and then she wasn't. But I almost wanted, I wanted there to be this unexpected sinister side to her that we didn't get.
And they were setting that up with the way she was interacting with Maui too.
Yeah, that apparently they have some sort of lovers quarrel. They have history.
If the movie was slower, I'd determine if I ship it or not. But we'll see, I suppose.
No,
so you said earlier how that hold that thought. You said earlier how like we're already established with Moana and Maui who already gone on their journey, so you wanted it for the new. See, I do also agree with that, but I will say this too, that when it came to if they were gonna do something new with Moana and Maui, particularly Moana, it's because the quote unquote hardship she has is her just feeling like, oh, ever since I've gone this, I've done nothing right. I'm like, I feel this is a forced quote unquote form of conflict within yourself. I think a better idea is what her little sister says, which we actually had talked with the little sister about, like, what if you don't come back?
Right.
And I actually started thinking about this today because when I was at work today, I was listening to Ori and the Blind Forest soundtrack, and I was thinking to myself, considering how Ori and the Will of the Wisp went, how that ended, what? Damn, Moana, why didn't y'all think something like this too? Like the conflict
I
really being, what if because you see at the end that Moana might be becoming more than human possibly. So what if the conflict could have
not
been
might be, she
like,
is.
oh, okay, so she is. But what if the conflict was more on the lines of like, what if she has to move on to something even bigger than, being a wife, like whatever, the chief for her island and everything too.
So like that's a very important, that's a very big thing, and I believe the reason they didn't dive deeper into the what if you don't come back is because I think Disney was like, we're going to tease a little bit and then we're going to pull back because we don't want, I honestly, I think it's because they think of like the children. That there's children watching this. That's maybe death and that theme of not returning is a topic that they may not be aware of, or they may not be able to understand really well, and they're trying to help the parents from having to have a really deep, dark conversation like that. Like genuinely, I could see that being a thing that came through. I could see there be a script out there that really plays with that, and then the executives at Disney were like, we gotta make that a little less in the face, guys.
I call bullshit because we watched a movie where Clayton hung himself. Bambi's mama got shot. Mufasa got trampled.
People
And
were
we watched an
they
animated
didn't
movie
they
this
didn't care
year.
about the sensitivity back then though.
Yeah, so stop caring about it because that makes good stories. Hell, we watched an animated movie this year where Megatron ripped apart Sentinel.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's I'm just I could see that being a thought process that the executives had at Disney.
Maybe so. I suppose even the first one was rather safe. But also,
Yeah.
I gotta bring this up too, is that like by the time we get to the quote unquote final boss, I feel like the adventure was incredibly lackluster too. Like
I
you felt
agree.
the journey in the first one. Like yeah, they had their stops, or they had their learning session, they have their actual setbacks. And this one just feels like they went and they talk about how difficult this is, but they don't feel the difficulty of it.
Yeah, it honestly like Tafiti and everything felt way more difficult. Felt like a harder battle even.
Mm-hmm.
Like again,
And
I know we have two seasoned people on the team now, but like even still, like obviously that's it's not over. Like things could get ramped up in the third film.
I think it's gonna have to be because the stakes are not here. Also, speaking of stakes too, and speaking of possible darkness, here's another criticism. Disney, y'all gotta y'all gotta stop with some of y'all formulas. Y'all just gotta stop. I know maybe it's gonna happen with just with adults in general, but there's a point. There's two things that happen at the end of this movie. I'm like, they'll be fine. I don't care. I don't feel the weight. I'm not sad. I'm not worried. I'm watching. You'll be fine. And you know, both of those movies moments are actually. So Disney, look, y'all gotta change up the formula a little bit. This is, I don't want you. No, wait, y'all did traumatize kids. Fuck y'all, shit. But you don't have to go dark, but I think you guys just should. How do I word this?
Embrace the unknown a little more.
Yeah,
Like
venture.
yeah, like don't be afraid to tip your toes a little deeper. Just cuz like I
Don't
think it would add more depth.
like again. Transformers One. I mean, it's animated, it's goofy and stuff like that,
It
but
is
it goes
PG-13.
places.
It
It's
is P
13.
I'm pretty sure it's PG-13. Let me double check that. No, it is
Um,
PG.
Okay. I mean, like, hey, some of these animated movies that are more for kids do lean into some more darker territories. But hey, when you do that, then you get the people really talking because it comes off as maybe just more than just a simple kids movie. Hell, look at how much we praise Spider Verse
Yeah.
and some
Yeah.
of the themes and ideas, thoughts that go into that movie. Now, I'm not saying anime movies can't always be just have a nice, safe animated movie and stuff. That's fine, but uh, I Is it weird to say that I think from Moana 2, I think I just wanted more of that?
No, I think it's fine because I agree with you. I wanted more of that depth because it did feel I felt like we had because she was so young and it was all so new to her in the first one and she had just lost her grandmother who was there as a guide and she was really like trying to find herself but then doubting is this really who I am? I think there was a lot of beautiful depth and beautiful character arc and story and development that happens in the first that we don't get as much here in the second one. Um
Yeah.
and it made sadly as exciting and as happy as I am to spoil you all the fact that she is a demigod now.
You go, girl.
Um I was so thrilled. This has been something I've been actually like advocating for like crazy. Like I've told people like there is technically the chance she could have already have been one for in the first one like when her ship goes through the storm and she wrecks and everything. There is a lot of fan theories out there that she drowned and she did die and has been reborn as a demigod. Um, that obviously was not the case, but I do consider that a trial. In a way, she's almost going like through these multiple trials, and now she's being accepted and to have these abilities and to be the guardian of the land and the sea. So, as much as I love it, and I was so excited, you can ask Dan. My reaction was insane. I was literally like super giddy and like fucking finally, because
Mhm.
it's been there in my brain. It should have been like it's been there since the first film that this could be a thing that happens for her, and I'm thrilled, beyond thrilled that it is. But I, it could have been more impactful. There was less impact than I wanted and got because of how they scripted the rest of the film.
Exactly. Feels like it always feels like this movie was more they wanted to make a very beautiful movie as first, but then they kind of maybe didn't think too hard about story.
Honestly, money, Disney wants money. I could see that maybe the third film was supposed to be still part of this film.
Maybe so.
And then they're like, but what if we broke it up into two and got more money?
Even if they have a smaller budget, of course they've got just a dollar signs on their eyes.
Like, I'm just saying, like, it's Disney. I could see Disney executives looking at the script and being like, so I think this is great, love this, but what if we did this in two movies instead to make more money? And
You
didn't
know, I
release that to the public.
I think I remember reading that Moana was supposed to initially get a series, but then they decided let's make it a movie instead.
Right. Which
Maybe
I
they should have gone with the
actually
series.
would have preferred a series. It would have
Yeah.
gave more trial and tribulation to the crew. It would have been, they could have done almost like uh, How to Train Your Dragon did, right? So How to Train
Mhm.
Your Dragon, they actually have a couple series out there. There is one of my favorite ones is The Race to the Edge, which is where they're mapping the archipelago and it's like Toothless and his crew. So you have his girlfriend, you have the twins, you have the two other dudes. I'm blanking on their names off the top of my head, but that actually takes place between movies 1 and 2. And it actually is proper like filler and it is really good. It's you get more growth of Hiccup in that series, and they even call back to it in movies 2 and 3. So
Nice.
like they could have done something like that where you have like this growth for Moana and her crew and even the village and everything and like do more of like the race to find where this island is and then have the big fight and the big like tribulations they have to go through be a movie.
Mhm. That would have worked out. Nice setup, like a nice little setup to break up some of the quote unquote
Right.
more lackluster stuff in this movie.
Another thing I do want to mention that I absolutely love about this film was the evolution we have received. My husband is playing Call of Duty and he's talking. But no, so the one thing I really, really want to touch on because for this is our only unvoiced character of the entire film,
Oh.
and we have an amazing evolution and new understanding of the Kakamora that we see in the first one, which are the coconut people. And I love what they do. And like it's basically like the chieftain's the Kakamora chief's son that ends up party joining them. And like I loved it. I thought they were so good and such a nice addition to this film and her crew.
I like that little Kakamora warrior. I like how some. Oh, the funniest joke of the whole movie when the old man by the time was friends with the Kakamora.
He's
He's
like,
like,
I
I
speak
officially.
Hakam. I speak Hakamura now.
That was hilarious. But that I like the development and they gave new depth and meaning to the Kakamora actually.
The Kakamora were never actually meant to be evil, like pirate like coconut creatures. They just happen to be trying to find their way home because their home has been shut off now that this island has been shrouded by a god. You know,
Exactly.
so I thought the addition to him made me kind of give me like Knuckles vibes, just without like the crazy like insanity that Knuckles brought, if that makes sense.
That's
Um,
fair.
I really liked this addition. Um, Other things I want to say that I like about like genuinely, guys, like though we do complain about the lacklusterness or like the lack of depth that certain areas of this film have, and all I did really enjoy this film. Um, and I
I
love once again how much cultural experience we get, like when she's getting ready to set off sail again, and the whole like send off that they give, and like the ritual she goes through for, and she gets her visions. I love all of that. I think that is absolutely beautiful, and as someone outside of that culture, it is exciting and fun to see it expressed and to learn more about it.
I also do enjoy this film, even though the pacing is a big killer.
Hmm.
The weight of everything is very lackluster. There's a lot of callbacks, but all right. Look, I know I don't like musicals. I really don't, except for a couple of things. However, even if I got irritated sometimes when I started singing the first time, even though I got used to it, and I still got irritated when I started singing in this one glaring issue, I didn't think the music was very good.
So I really liked the music. However, the music for me, there wasn't it didn't hit me like the first film did. Um
Yeah.
like if I can compare it to Frozen 2, for example, Frozen one's music is, whether you like it or not, it is iconic. It's stuck with people. It's very well known, right? And then the second film, though it was I there was parts of it that were iconic in different ways. Like though it like the music had evolved and changed, especially with like thematically, actually that music is amazing. And I love Frozen 2's music as much as I love Frozen 1's. Currently, where it stands, Moana's 2 musical numbers don't hold up as much to Moana 1.
I do remember we were concerned that what the hell is his name? Lin Manuel Lin Manuel Miranda wasn't coming back,
Yeah.
and
And
yes,
I
I
do think
felt
they take a hit for him not being there.
yeah they really do because only one song that I like, but none of the music was so well that I wanted to actually listen to it again. Because after Moana 1, I wanted to hear those songs again.
Mhm.
Like
See,
hell,
I see. Like, I want to listen to them again because I really want to sit there and pick them apart and really listen to them. Because as me being a musician, I really want to take time to get to know these songs because I know almost all of, if not all of, the songs from Moana 1 by heart. I know them like for the first freaking note. I love them. So I'm like, I don't want to be biased to this music because I know the others so well. So I do want to give that music more time to sit and maybe eventually resonate with me. There is a song I do really like that's near the end that is Moana, and it's kind of Moana stepping up to the plate, stepping into like she's like, I can do this. This is gonna happen. Like I am almost like I am a guardian in a kind of way. I do really like that number. and that's the one I really want to listen to again because I think that does have the potential to carry a lot more weight with me. I think there was just so many other things that had me distracted from it that I couldn't enjoy it as much in the moment.
For me, only one song stuck out for me, and it was the Rock song. But that doesn't mean it was really good. Good. It's just
That
the one
was
that's like
it was funny.
it was funny. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm running out of water here, man. Damn. Anyway, it was funny. It was the one that I just was like, okay, I was okay with that one, but not enough that I was like, I'm putting it on my Spotify because I have You're Welcome on Spotify. I've got oh god, what that first song's called again? Where You Are, and I have, of course, We Know the Way. That song hit me in the soul when I first heard it. I still get goosebumps when I hear that song.
I love
This
that song.
movie, not really. Although I will admit, while the musical number songs aren't very good, I think the soundtrack, like the score, is actually really good.
Yes, I do agree.
That was
100%
actually
agree.
that was really really good. So I'm like, okay, at least it has good OST.
Mhm. So,
So good.
do you have more to say? Because if you so, I'll let you go.
Well,
I was about to ask, like, is there any other topics or any other things you really want to make sure we discuss before we get into our ratings?
not too much more. I feel like we got through everything that I really wanted to. The fast pacing, the
Mhm.
lack of weight, Disney formula needs to kind of stop. Oh yeah, and also okay, here's something else that I actually forgot to bring up. And unfortunately, it's another negative because while the old man is my favorite character, that's sad he took Maui's spot because was it just me or does it feel like Dwayne Johnson didn't give his all?
Um, so I know what I get where you're coming from, but I think it's just more of a I viewed it more as like, oh, Dwayne's not giving us his all, is it's like Maui's going through an evolution. Um and
Maybe.
I don't think at this moment his evolution is complete. Um I think it was more like he isn't the grumpy guy anymore. He has his hook back. He's, restored the heart of Tafiti. He is a people for all. He's someone for all again. And like I think he's in a place where he doesn't need to be that kind of grumpy guy anymore. So I don't mind that grumpiness is taken over by a different character because if he was still like grumpy like he was in the first one, I think it would have felt out of place because it's like, dude, life's pretty good for you so far, other than like you're stuck and got captured by Matangi.
Maybe so. I think
And he's also like he's also in my opinion the beginning, especially with how he's trying to console Moana a bit. He's in the very early stages of his mentorship because now that she gets her tattoo, she's like, "Does this mean?" And he's like, "Yep," which is like she's about to ask, "Does this mean I'm a demigod?" And he confirms yes.
and his
So,
tattoos were better.
and then yes, his tattoos are better. But I think in the third one we're gonna probably see a lot more mentorship from him. And as much as everybody says, you might hate me for this, that everybody's like, oh, I'm so happy Moana's never had like the love interest and it's not being overshadowed by this and that. I I kind of ship it
What?
now that they're
No,
demigods. Only
no,
now that she's a
no,
demigod.
no, 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 no. We're not doing that. We did well the first movie. No, 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 no.
I can only
Let
again.
Rock get back with
I
Batman and let
no
Ma let
no
yes.
no.
Come on, let's have Maui get with a freaking I kind of hate you, but damn it, I low-key like
Let's
you.
be honest, she fits with no one but him. And I'm not saying that in a romantic way. I'm just saying like in a like how people understand her. Like there's no one who really gets her as much as Maui does. And now that she is someone who's a demigod and who's supposed to be immortal, like I could see it happening one day. And I'm kind of okay with it. I'm not saying right now, not in the movies, but if like later down and she's like her family's dead and gone because they're mortal and she's still alive and I'm out, I'm okay with it.
No, 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 don't you dare. Nope, nope. Disney, don't even think about it. No, no, no. That demigod knew that little girl since she was 16. He ain't. This is Moana, and no, this man is Maui. That
I
man is not
know.
R.
I
Kelly.
know it's weird. I'm sorry, but it's.
No, no,
That's what I'm
no,
saying.
no.
Not in the movies.
Nope, not at all. Nope. Write your fanfic. Just put it there.
I'm
There
not
we
writing a
go.
fanfic. No.
All right, we're not shipping that. I am not shipping that. I do not approve of that. I will break the fourth wall and beat the hell out of Moana. Like, what the hell were you thinking?
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, on that note, do you want to read it?
You go first.
I'm so torn what to rate this movie.
Oh, I actually know where I'm putting it.
Then go.
This movie's getting a 7 out of 10 for me. I like it. 7 is still good, but the problems are super glaring that I just can't ignore. But it's not a bad movie. It's still fun. It's got its humor. It is beautiful. It's fun to see Moana back. I just wish it slowed down and let some of the weight sink. And I do wish there was a bit more going on to certain areas as well. But still good. We are not shipping that.
I think I was torn between, for me, I want to give this film an 8 because of how much I love Moana. However, this film is not an 8. There's too many issues for me to say it's an 8, though I really want to give it that. The fan in me that wants to give it that. But, the whole thing is that I like it more than I think I like a 7. So I'm just going to go dead in the middle. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay, that works. See, as much as I like Moana as well, I'm just I just can't. This movie's I can't go any higher because those issues, But still, that does not mean Moana 2 was bad. Moana 2 is still good. If you ask me, if you ask us. Maybe we're also a bit more biased because we love the first one. But at the end of the day, we're not shipping that.
Yes, we are.
Don't speak for Owen. Owen speaks for himself. No, Owen. No. We're not shipping that. No. That might be the worst thing you've said so far in all these reviews, Morgan. That may be the worst take I've heard from you. I've heard some horrible takes from Luke. This is now officially your worst take.
Listen, I said a hot take.
I know you did, but no, it's not even hot. That's just horrible.
It's hot because I know there's other people out there that agree with me.
Oh no!
There's already one. There's already confirmed one in chat.
All right. That's 2. That's 2. Don't turn into My Hero fans.
Bruh.
Let me rephrase that. Don't turn into the weird ones.
No, listen. I'm still happy we haven't received it. I want to state that. I'm happy we have not seen evidence of that happening in the films.
I think you want to watch Moana to see that.
No, it's just one of those things where, for me, it's how do I want to explain this? It is something where I do appreciate we're finally getting a Disney film that doesn't have to revolve around a love interest. And I think that's really good for Moana's story because she is such an independent woman. However, if that was an avenue they choose to do one day, I'm not against it because of what is now set up. With her being a demigod, with her being immortal. I'm not saying give it to me next movie. If they give it, I will still be upset if I get it next movie. But if that is an evolution that happened one day for their characters, even if it's written after being demigods together for 1,000 years, that happens. Cool. I'm not saying let me see the romance. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just saying I ship that evolution when and if it ever makes sense to happen. Not let's have it happen.
For me, jokes aside, I think it's just a little too weird for me. I think.
That's fair.
Hell, if anything, I
I
was thinking
also,
like,
to be
hell,
fair, I probably watch a lot more stuff like related to like gods and demigods and stuff like that because of my crazy nerdy like Greek,
I don't know.
Egypt, all that stuff. You love.
I will say though too. Oh shit. Not that I ship this, but and not as I saw evidence, but if anything, like Moana, maybe you might if you're gonna hook up with someone, hook up with the Maui fanboy shit. Just hook up with him instead. Oh wait a minute, I know why I did. Oh fuck. I dead ass know why I did. I think I saw a parallel between me and Raven and Moana and what the hell's his name?
Yeah.
Only because he's a big idiot and she is like smaller but smart. I think the scene where she was inviting him to the crew and he didn't realize it. I was just like, why does that feel like just some?
And honestly, I felt that too. I was like, I even said to myself, like, if they try to ship a relationship between them, I'm gonna be annoyed.
At least they didn't. But at least, and even though she cares about everyone, and I'm not saying she put any extra care into him, but I will say that her reaction when she
totally cared more. She totally cared so much more about him. But you know who she cared about even more? Maui when he lost his tattoos and got smoted from the top of the sea.
Oh god, we have a shipping battle. Oh no, what have we done?
You know who I could. You know what though?
What?
Like him, goofy, fun, like broad dude, and
That's his name.
yeah, Moni, and then the girl, the like carpenter, like canoe person. They're gonna end up becoming like the Finn and what's her face ship from Star Wars. Finn and
Finn
the
and
yeah. That's what's gonna happen. It'll be
Wait,
them.
Moana and Loto?
No.
Or Moni and Loto?
Moni and Loto.
Oh, that's a bad one.
You
I'm
know,
more about Moana and Moni. I see more evidence of that one happening.
I'm just saying, like, I could see that being like the background relationship they create. Yes, agreed. And then how devastated and afraid and like concerned she was for Maui's well-being when he fell from the sky. Like,
I mean, they're friends. You don't have to be in love to feel sad if a friend was.
She was friends with the other ones who were in the water.
I will say this though, because going back to what you said, how Maui stepping into the mentor role, I will say when he realized that Snack, he's like, what's he doing? Where's Moana? I actually like how serious
that was really well done.
He cared, like not ship to care. He cared like, oh wait, oh shit, she's here, and I didn't want her in this because like, listen,
she's already got a cute pet name, like.
No. Come on, Moana was feeling Moni anymore. You see the smile she gave Moni though when he
they can do God stuff together now.
Yeah, and he can get his God on with Moana. She can get her goddess on him.
You're right. Maui and her can do that with each other.
No, Moni and Moana.
Moni's gonna be doing nothing but moaning for her because he can't get her.
If anything, he's probably more about sad that Maui's taken. But nah, we saw the look that Moana gave Moni, all right? She was definitely putting some intense care in the fact that he was okay or that he was on the team.
But it also could have been a whole situation like her dad when his friend died.
Yeah, well, what happens when, Maui probably dies in the next one?
Listen, he's not going to die in the next one. He's going to be stripped of all of his powers, and he gets to have his mortal life, and she will love him until he dies.
Or, in a moment of desperation, Maui must transfer all of his powers to Moni, where he has a whole transformation like Ori attacks the Optimus Prime.
No, he would transfer his powers to Moana.
But think about it.
Because that would take combining his powers with Moana would take her from a demigod to a goddess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Unless Moana took what's his name? Nalo's power in the final battle of the third one, while Maui gives Moni his power, and then boom.
No.
Yes.
No.
Listen, if Moana and Maui happens, I swear to God, I'm renouncing my fandom. The Spotify listeners is going to be so confused.
If you're listening on Spotify, go watch our YouTube. That way you can understand what's happening on our faces.
We're having a stare off right now. I can't believe we're fighting about a ship in Moana. Okay, let me end this with saying this.
Or can I give you a ship twist?
Okay.
Or they end up doing the woke decision, which is Matangi and Moana. I'm not saying I'm here for it. I'm definitely Moana and Maui all the way. I would rather Moni over Matangi, but I just gotta put our girl out there because she's an option.
I'm gonna just be real. If they go that road, it's not gonna work. You have to at least set up the idea that Moana was gay. And if it's not set up and it comes out of nowhere, it doesn't work. Which is a big reason why a lot of stuff in 13 Reasons Why did not work. If anything, Maui and Matangi feel more likely to happen. Think about it.
They are toxic. They're never gonna work.
But they're gods. Look at the relationship with the gods already.
So is she.
Yeah, but she can be the thing that breaks the toxic relationship with God by getting with Moni, an actual good guy.
Or she can break up a toxic potential relationship and get with Maui.
So she's just a rebound?
No.
Moana's way more than a rebound.
She's not the rebound. She's his savior.
Savior, really?
Okay, before we fight all night about this.
This will go on for a long while. And I'm glad we can have fights like this.
Oh, shit. All right, everybody. I'm working and that's dreaded, and this is the Wannabes podcast where we review films, talk about entertainment news, and maybe occasionally fight about certain ships happening in movies or shows. Oh, man.
I forgot about the second funniest joke in the movie.
Oh, no. The Moana's podcast.
Why did we rename that to tonight?
That would have been good. We are the Moana Bees.
Yeah, the Moana Bees podcast.
That's cute. That's cute.
Oh man, anytime Moana comes up, me and you just take over.
Hydrate.
Moana Bees!
I love this. Luke is not prepared for us.
No, he is not. Could you imagine if he was here for this whole ship fight?
He just would have I'm out.
Yeah, if he would like, I'm gonna get some water, y'all, or some beer.
All right, everybody. I'm Morgan. That's Dredden, and we are the hosts of the Wannabes podcast alongside Luke, who sadly is not here tonight because he is not feeling well. But we want to thank everybody for joining us and hanging out with us and listening to our review of Moana 2. Just a reminder, make sure to follow us on our social medias. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by searching up Podcast Wanna or the Wannabes podcast, and you can also search us up over on TikTok as well as YouTube. So we are working on getting all of our shows, all of them, all of the previous aired stuff and our current up on YouTube. And we're also releasing audio versions of the show over on Spotify for your listening pleasure while on the go. So yeah, we love everything about this show. We're happy that you all can be here with us, and we're excited to be giving you more ways to watch and enjoy. So yeah, make sure to, if you're not already following us here, make sure to give us a follow here on Twitch or go subscribe to us over on YouTube. It is free. And make sure to ding dong the bell over on YouTube as well. That way you get notifications for when we post, go live, and just have more content to share with you. But for now, everybody, I think we're calling it a night here.
Good show, good show.
Good
Except
show, bud.
for that horrible take.
Not horrible. I have support in chat. Where's your support? I don't see them.
Listen. I'm gonna call Raven right now.
All right, everybody. Next time, don't forget the popcorn. Stay tuned to our socials so you know what we're reviewing next week on Tuesday. Hopefully, Luke will be back and feeling nice and better. Peace out, everybody. See ya.
Later.
No. Moana and Maui.